January 24th, 2023. I'm coming to you from Austin, Texas, where I am here for my Buckingham Learning Group meeting today. Super excited. Meeting with about 150, I think, folks with our office, their back office investment team, with a bunch of other advisors from throughout the country, talking about best practices, tax strategies, investment vehicles, business valuations, you name it. It's going to be a fun few days. So it's nice, and flying in 2023 is always a bit of a challenge, but the flight was uneventful. So if you're watching this on January 24th, you have 1 week left in January. And if you're watching this as a married person on January 24th, you've got 1 week left in what many call divorce month. So good luck, and I hope everything's working out okay for you. The interesting thing about divorce month is I did not know January was considered divorce month until very recently. My friend James Joseph, a very good family law attorney in Long Island, basically sent an email about this, and I had to ask Jim if he was okay with me attributing this to him. But why? Why is January divorce month? And I think a lot of people will say that it's because of stuff that's kind of going on after the holidays. A lot of people want to stay together through the holidays, or they see that the family or the friends are there to support them, so they get a little bit of encouragement, I guess, if you will, or they have a little bit more confidence to go through with the divorce proceeding. Some people will say it's because of taxes. Sometimes it's good to kind of close out the year end and kind of be ready for the new year as a single person itself. So, regardless of the reasons, one of the things that I want to talk to you about is if you are contemplating, or somebody who you care about is either contemplating or has gone through a divorce, that's obviously a very difficult and emotionally charged process. This is your foundation. But here, it's important for couples to consider the financial implications of what happens if they end their marriage. Now, we do help a lot of folks with different various transition points in their life, whether it's, becoming a widow or a widower, or selling a business, or moving residences. That happens to be a big part of what we do on the financial planning, the tax planning, the estate planning side. So I said, let me just come up with these 4 things as we get towards the end of divorce month, which, tough as it might be, 4 things that any divorcing couple should really be considering. And the first is property division. One of the key financial considerations is how's that couple going to split up not just the assets, but also the liabilities, mortgages on the property, right? Things like the family home, cars, bank accounts, and retirement accounts. How are all those things going to get split up? You may not have the answers here, but better to get that advice sooner than later, because the state laws on property division, and they vary from obviously state to state. So you want to work with an attorney who's going to make sure that they're divided not just fairly, but also you make the most sense financially. Second thing is alimony and child support. Another financial consideration is going to be, well, what's going to happen? Like spousal support, is there going to be maintenance? Is one spouse making more than the other? How is that one spouse who's making less going to maintain that standard of living after the divorce? Child support is that financial support that the child receives. It doesn't belong to the parents. It actually belongs to children. So it's important to know how these are going to be calculated. So the second thing is alimony and child support. So the third is tax implications. Divorce can have significant tax implications. You might go from being a married filer to being a single filer. And what about the sale of assets as a result of the divorce? You might have capital gains taxes as a result of that. What expenses are going to be deductible versus which ones are not going to be deductible. So it's important to understand the tax implications of any of those agreements. So that was the third one. And number 4 is budgeting and planning for the future. It's going to have a financial impact. You can't not have it have a financial impact, but it could have a pretty significant impact on the couple's finances. So it's important for the parties to budget and plan for the future. The spouses should, soon to be ex-spouses, should know, and they should understand how that divorce is going to impact things like their credit score. How's it going to impact their ability to take out loans or maybe some other credit in the future? So in kind of summing this up, look, divorce is going to have a significant impact on a couple's finances. And I wanted to get this in before Valentine's Day because we'll do more pleasant stuff on Valentine's Day if we have to. But yeah, so the couple's going to have a very significant impact as a result of the divorces. It's important to consider things like property division, alimony, child support, tax implications, budgeting and planning of the future about divorce. So work with someone, work with an advisor, work with an attorney, work with an accountant, and if you could find all in one, even better. But you want to make sure that your assets are protected, your rights are protected, and you want to make sure that the assets get divided fairly. And don't underestimate the emotional impact of this, right? I mean, I understand that it's usually more on the emotional side than it is the financial side, but having that advisor can sometimes help you make some rational decisions and think about things that you may not have considered. So another week left in January. I hope your new year is off to a fantastic start. If there's anything that we can do and be of assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. Neil Shah with Shah Planet. I hope to see you next week. Have a great day, everybody.